So let us begin our Vandanam. Vandanam means the prayer to Guru, the prayer to Vaishnava, prayer to Mahaprabhu, and Praneshwari, which are the ones, Bhagavad Bhaktita Sarvam, and Kale Doshanide Rajan.
That's correct, Maharaj, we have them.
I think you all have these on a cheat sheet somewhere, but I think you all have them in your memory too. But remember, we weren't really learning these shlokas. We're expecting we probably already know them. We were trying to keep our remembrance on the meaning of the shlokas too. So, auspicious beginning. Let us start with Om Agyan to Guru together. Om Agyan Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Then to the Vaishnavas. Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Okay, then to Mahaprabhu. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratize Namaha. Then Bhagavad Bhaktita Sarvam together. Bhagavad Bhaktita Sarvam Ityutsrijya Vidher Api Kain Karyang Krishna Padaika Ashrayatvam Sharanagatihi. And then one more. How fortunate we are. We are amidst sin and fault and all these things. This Kaler Dosha Nidhe Rajan. Together. Kaler Dosha Nidhe Rajan. Asti Hyeka Mahan Gunaha. Kirtanad Eva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Parang Brajet. I don't know how to act out all the signs or everything. Then let us chant Panchatattva Maha Mantra and Hare Krishna Maha Mantra together. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vas Adi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right. So actually, quite a high-powered introduction, high-powered, auspicious beginning. And we need high-powered things. We need some high-powered light, but a little bit of something is better than nothing, right?
Maharaj, I have a question.
You do?
I included the Chatur Shloki at the end of our mini Vandana.
I think we mentioned that last time, didn't we? It is
Yes.
good for us to do that. Okay, 1 second. I'm not being very successful getting more light. However, Krishna will provide more light soon. I'm confident of it. Okay, so Chatur Shloki of Bhagavad Gita. Yes, very good. So beginning with, what's the first line? Praneshri, what's the first line?
Aham.
Aham, oh, okay, because last time I started with Sarvadam and Parityaja, but it's Aham Sarvasya. Okay, got it. Okay, so let us chant the Chatur Shloki together. Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo Mata Sarvam Pravartate Iti Matva Bhajante Mam Buddha Bhava Samanvitaha. Then Machchita Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Katayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatang kriti purvakam dadami buddhi yogantang yena mam upayanti te. Tesham evanukampatam. Tesham evanukampatam.
Aham anjana jam tamaha.
Aham agyana tanjamaha. Nasham yatma bhavato jnana deepena bhashvata. I can say two things. One is, it's early in the morning here. Number two is, I don't have my specs, so I can't even cheat. Yesterday, oh, well, yesterday was another day. Yesterday we had many adventures. And Krishna played tricks with us. So we had a very long day yesterday. Do we know who MDD is, by the way?
Nope.
No.
So, okay, because an MDD is trying to come in. Ah!
David Dassey. It must be a David Dassey.
Oh, let's see. Let's invite and I expect you all got a little message from Govinda Nandini Didi that somebody was trying to do something wrong last time. So anyway, means in the name of a devotee. So can I just take a moment out to welcome Anandavadan Prabhu and Jai Gauranga Prabhu. They're from New Zealand. The north, not just New Zealand, but they're in a beautiful place in the north of the North Island of New Zealand. So we're joining you. In whose home are we? Tell us. In New Zealand.
That's Jai Gauranga's home.
Jai Gauranga's home. All right. Looking very clean and tidy. Doesn't look like a brahmachari ashram to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Welcome.
Our dad's tidied up.
Our dad tidied up.
Oh, okay. That's what dads are for, right? Okay, welcome. We just went through the Vandanam, the prayers that we have revised ourselves with the meaning, and now we're just starting the day today. And actually, I can start the day. You're all on mute, so if you wish to ask a question, please do press your unmute button. That is, first of all, this Zoom then means really we're very happy because we're together. And sometimes I know I speak a little bit too much. And what I want to do today is to begin by asking you, do you have any questions? Rather than at the end and then there's no time to answer. Any questions or any topic, something that you'd like me to address? Because actually, a lot of these things that we discuss in the back to basics are devotees who are, saying that, oh, this this is good for us all. We want to revise this. So any comments on what we've done or something that you'd like to do? Don't be shy. We're all family together. No? Okay. Put up your hand or unmute your microphone. And MDD, can you just let us know who you are? The mystery, maybe mystery David Asi.
I think it's Madhavi Didi.
Madhavi Didi, okay. Can you give us a confirmation?
Dandavad Maharaj, how are you?
Yes.
Madhavi Didi.
Okay, Madhavi Didi, your name is a mystery. Oh, my name's a mystery too. I see my name is Das Anudas. This is what I aspire to be, is Das Anudas. Okay, Madhavi Didi, good to see you there. Maybe we can rename you. Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Madhavi.
How are you?
I'm happy because I'm with devotees, and happy because we're able to remember some things about our spiritual master, spiritual life, things which we can't even discuss hardly with non-devotees. So it's very awkward. They don't understand even the basics. Oh, you believe in these things, do you? Of course we believe. We've got a common ground. So to be with devotees is a very happy thing.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Madhavi Didi, all
I'm
good in
happy
your world?
too. Thank you, Maharaj.
All right.
Dandavas for you and all the Vaishnavas.
Yes, Dandavat Didi. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And why we like this Zoom so much is because we can see everybody who wishes to reveal themselves. But even when we can't see you, we can, we know you're there, we can see. Otherwise, when we just like talk into a microphone or something, then we don't know who's at the other side. And we like to be together. And really, you can say, as we actually put on the website years ago, like repeatedly, it was there more or less as a mini heading. It said, Mahaprabhu, I forget exactly what it was. Mahaprabhu allowed this technology. Let us use it in his service. Something like that we had for a while. And so, we have this technology. So we're trying to use it nicely in the service. By this way, those who wish to come together, we can come together. Chant Hare Krishna. But we can't take prasadam together. That's the next generation of technology. All of you technology people, Bharat Chandra Prabhu. We want to be able to distribute prasadam via the internet waves. Have you got a plan, Bharat Chandra Prabhu?
The drones aren't quite ready yet. They need to be a little more capable to make it all over the world.
Oh, by drone. Okay, very smart. All right. So let us come back to first of all, let us come to some questions and answers. And this is revision of last week. So let me see if I have opened my questions and answers. Because we had a very succinct, very clear list of questions and answers from Chaitanya-charitamrta. And now you're going to all be quickly revising, aren't you, to say, oh, what are those questions and answers? It's a one-line question by Mahaprabhu, one-line answer by Ramananda Ray. And I gave my little one the title, Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers, because these were perfect questions. So how about we ask each other, and you can ask me, some of the questions and answers. So first of all, put up your hand if you know what is of all types of education, which is the most important? Everybody's hand must go up about this. You have digital hands, by the way, in this digital world. I'm not sure where it is. Oh, Divya Shakti did. I know that voice.
Chanting Hare Krishna.
It's education about devotional service. Devotional service to Krishna. Krishna Bhakti. This is, no other education is important and other than devotional service. Okay, I just want to ask, I know it's out of sequence, but Divya Shakti Didi, out of many worshipable things, places, people, all kinds of things are worshipable. The Lord in different ways. But when Mahaprabhu asked to Ramananda Ray, he said, what is the most worshipable object of worship? So Divya Shakti, what's the answer? What did Ramananda give? Because remember, this is like the peak of the answers. What is the most worshipable object out of all worshipable objects?
Well, if it's not the Lord's devotees, it's his holy name.
Okay, very good. First class.
I had to cover myself on that answer.
But good to mention the Lord's devotees. Then, who are we going to ask? I think we're going to ask John, not Jonty, sorry, Jonty no more. You need to rename yourself, Jai Gauranga. Jai Gauranga Prabhu. Out of all distresses, very troublesome things, so much distressed in this world, what is the greatest unhappiness, the greatest distress? Oh, you weren't with us last week, were you? Or last time?
I don't think so, Maharaj.
Okay, you're excused, but maybe Anandavada Prabhu already knows because we are doing revision.
No. Separation from devotees.
Yes, Prabhu, very good.
Shakti ki jai.
Jai.
Hi.
Okay, so we want to share around the questions and answers. So we got another one here. Out of all glorious activities, which is the most glorious?
Chanting Hare Krishna.
Yes, actually, I should look at the Bengali because it's saying the answer to Anand Roy. That person who's reputed to be a devotee of Lord Krishna enjoys the utmost fame and glory. So it's referring to somebody's glorious activities. To be a devotee of Lord Krishna. All right. So who is a big capitalist amongst us? Well, I wouldn't like to say Bharachandra Prabhu, but he does have a nice motorcycle. Bharachandra Prabhu, out of all rich people, capitalists, who is the richest? Not who owns a Harley Davidson, not who owns a, I think what's yours? Yours is Japanese, right?
Yamaha, Maharaj, because
Yamaha.
the logo looks like 3 tilaks.
It does, very auspicious. So out of the greatest capitalists, who is the richest? Who is the greatest capitalist?
Oh, I'm cheating because I see it in the chat, Maharaj. But he who is richest in love for Radha and Krishna.
Okay. So it's in the chat box. Oh, well, just see.
Yeah, the teacher is giving the answers away. The teacher.
Me.
Praneshwari Didi, who is a teacher.
Didi, the teacher, her actual profession, and she's giving the answers to the students.
Praneshwari Didi, is that your profession? You're a teacher. Well, we need a teacher to be helping us, because as you saw my name before, Das and Das, we are always going to be the servant of the servant of the servant. We're always going to be the student. And in this world, we need good teachers that are teaching techniques. And, sometimes I even think when we do ask questions, or we've just like gone through something, and then nobody answers, like the simple things, I think I'm going to give up as a teacher because we think everybody's understanding and remembering, but at the end of it all, what color is Krishna? I'm not sure. Anyway, Praneshwari, you must give us some tips about teaching. You did give us one tip one time, I believe. Oh, where's my pencil? Oh, it's inside. And that wasn't that you. One of you, maybe you or Govinda Nandini or Jivana perhaps, said write things down with a pen and paper. That is a good way to remember things. So that was one teacher's tip. All right. So without looking in the chat box, then we will ask somebody, distress was the next one. Okay. So I think this one is even like for us common sense because we've heard it from everybody. But what about Jivana Devidasi? I don't know if you're at work, Jivana, but you're not at work. It's a Saturday. Jivana, what was my question going to be?
Unhappiness?
No, my question was going to be, out of all liberated persons, who should be accepted as the greatest liberated person, Jivana?
Well, that would be the Mahabhagavad, or the spiritual master, Mahabhagavad.
And what's the quality of the spiritual master or the Mahabhagavad?
Unalloyed love for the Lord.
Okay. So he who has love for Krishna, Krishna Prema, has attained the topmost liberation. All right, Jivana. Very good. And we've heard all these things before. And to be fair, Jivana, you weren't with us at the last little gathering that we had too. So we did actually go, huh?
I do. I missed the Wednesday ones, unfortunately, because I'm at work. But
because you're at work, yeah. All
but
right.
It's not really an excuse, Maharaj, because I did catch up later.
Oh, okay. Well, good. And I'm happy to see. This is being recorded. And so for those who are watching a recording, we are doing our revision of our revision. But there's such classic questions. It is good for us not to like run ahead too fast. We want to actually put these things in our remembrance. All right. So among all songs, which song is to be considered the actual religion, dharma of the living entity? And I can just mention here that for those of you who've never driven behind Divya Shakti on the freeway, on the back of Divya Shakti's car, she has a bumper sticker which says, "Caution, driver singing," which is a beautiful bumper sticker. And I've never seen any other bumper sticker like that before. So caution, driver singing. But Divya Shakti, you've answered also already a couple of questions. I think we can ask Madhavi Devidasi, of all songs, which song is the actual religion of the living entity? Is the translation. And the answer is, Madhavi, can you think of the answer? You can.
No, Maharaj, sorry, I can expression in English, Maharaj.
Okay, you express in Spanish. We have many Spanish speakers here.
Hi, Maharaj, wait, please.
Rukmini will give you a clue. Then I won't understand she's giving you a clue. You can give her a clue because you do know the answer. It's just I've caught you off guard, I know.
Okay, Rukmini, tell me, please.
Rukmini, give a clue. Okay, Rukmini, do you know the answer? Good, only.
No.
What song is the song of the actual religion of the age?
Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Thank you very much. Do you know the Hare Krishna Maha? Yes, he got some claps. Do you know the Maha Mantra? We better check this one out. Yes, the songs glorifying Radha Krishna, and of course the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. All right, no problem. You weren't with us, so it's kind of running through maybe for the first time for you. All right. Now we had what was the most distressing. Now out of all auspicious and beneficial activities, what is the best activity for the living entity? And who are we going to ask? Prema Sundari Devirasi. What is the best activity of the living entity? Most auspicious.
I don't know. I'm thinking about all the activities in Maharaj, but specific activities, I don't know. We try to serve with love and affection all devotees, Maharaj. But the specific.
Okay, very good. And last week when we started going through this, I did actually mention many of these answers, really, because we've got the foundation of Guru Maharaj, Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada, we can think, yes, this answer. And then specifically Ramananda is pointing out, this is the answer. So Prema Sundari Didi wasn't with us at the gathering last time, but like intuitively from our master's guidance, then she's got the answer given here is, the only auspicious activity is association with the devotees of Krishna, which essentially is what you answered. So, yes. All right, just one or two more questions, not many questions. So what should all living entities constantly remember? And living entities means jivas. So What should all living entities constantly remember? Chinmoy Prabhu. Rukmini's got a hand.
One confused it. I believe it is it the one where the remembrance of Krishna's form, pastimes, Leela, or yeah, it's that one, or is it?
Right, exactly. Remembering Krishna and all of his attributes. There you are. You got some claps coming from Prema Sundari. You see, and Rukmini. You see, our Spanish section, they know how to give some claps and hola, hola. All right. So yes, remembering Krishna's name, form, pastimes, etc., etc., etc. Yes, remembrance. And how many hours a day, Chinmoy Devu?
Non-stop, constantly.
All right. So for those of you who've been with our Upadeshamritam classes, 25 hours a day. Yes. All right. Now meditation. And meditations become like a fashion. And for some good reason, you can say people are trying to sort out their heads, trying to understand what's going on, and the world is pulling us everywhere. And just not near here, but near the actual temple here, there's a big, huge sign, meditation, for people. But it makes me wonder what they're meditating. But meditation anyhow is generally a good thing because it is controlling the mind. But out of many types of meditation, which is required for all living entities. It's not the best English, but still. So which meditation is required for all living entities out of many kinds of meditation? So let us choose somebody. Praneshwari Revidasi, our teacher, who I suspect has been reading through these just now, but no problem. Tell us, Praneshwari Revidasi.
But I don't know it by heart, but to meditate in the lotus feet of the Lord, that's the best meditation of all.
That sounds like knowing it by heart. You know it from your heart, even if you don't know it by heart. That's practically word by word the answer. Meditating on the lotus feet of Radha Krishna. Beautiful. And, we have more questions. Where should the living entity live, abandoning all other places? All right. And Govinda Nandini Devidasi, would you like to answer if you wish?
I don't know it by heart, but I can read it.
Okay, please read it. Tell us.
Well, he should live in the holy place known as Vrindavan or Brajabhumi, where the Lord performed his rasa dance.
Okay, beautiful. And again, as we've said, this is all, when we come and talk about Vrindavan, Brajabhumi, this is all the spiritual world. And so not that the whole world of devotees, 100,000 devotees would all descend on Vrindavan and try to build a luxury home. But that means Vrindavan as in UP in India. Vrindavan, it is a spiritual plane and not part of the material world. So this, in Upadeshamritam, which we've been going through, stressed again and again, Gurma stressing again and again. So Vrindavan consciousness, that will take us to Vrindavan. And Praneshwari, did you want to say something? Praneshwari?
Yes, Maharaj, you lived so many years in Vrindavan. Can you talk about Vrindavan a little bit?
Vrindavan is a very dangerous place. This is Gurudev's words. Vrindavan is a very dangerous place because we are living in the proximity of Vrindavan, if you like, in that region, but we cannot see where we are passing through because we are with our physical body and our mental body. So we can't see where we are passing through, but we are passing through very auspicious places and personalities and all sorts of things. And so we have to be very careful that the Vrindavan that we are thinking is Vrindavan, to lead any kind of material mentality while being there. We want to actually follow all the answers to these questions that we've been hearing and answering. We want to follow these answers fully, like 25 hours a day. And really the recommendation is to visit Vrindavan for 3 nights, to go to Vrindavan and be with the devotees, and to go there for a short time, so that we don't get familiarity, we don't get disturbed by things which take place there, or have any aggression to the devotees. And in one of our earlier classes, then we did go through the 10 offenses to the holy Dham. And those 10 offenses are so we can be without the negative. I mean, if we go somewhere and we make offense, we're going to get negative things come to us. And we want to do positive things. So Vrindavan in India is for us to visit as a pilgrim with the shelter of our devotees. This is the very point. And you say, I lived there for many years. My saver took me there. And so only with service will we go to Vrindavan. And when we are in Vrindavan, we are very cautious. And on that note, I can say something about Navadip, because Navadip and Vrindavan are non-different. Gurudev, yes, Gurudev told, and of course, then Guru Maharaj will have told, but actually I'm remembering Gurudev's voice and Gurudev telling me, and not telling me, but telling us together. He was saying how Navadip is the place of the greatest mercy of the Lord. Vrindavan is distributed from Navadip. And so also we must not consider Vrindavan and Navadip to be different in that sense. But the Vrindavan Leela is distributed from Navadip. And our mat, Chaitanya-charitamrta mat, is at the place Koladip, which is known as Aparada Bhanjaner Pat, the place where all offenses are forgiven. So in one sense, we can think, oh, we go there and all our offenses are forgiven, and now we're clean and pure, we can fly off to the spiritual world. And it's all true. But the difficulty is, Gurudev said, but this is a dangerous, because talking about danger, this is a dangerous place. Because if you make offense in Aparada Bhanjaner part, if you made offense outside and you come here, and you, since according to your sincerity of surrender, that those offenses will all go. It is true. But if you come here and make offense here, then where can you go to get rid of those offenses? You cannot. So in that way also, it is a very dangerous place to live. So we must be very cautious about our mundane conceptions. And so again, everybody who came to Navadip, then yes, if they're visiting on pilgrimage, they're coming on pilgrimage for 3 nights or for a short time. But we have so many witnesses. Chinmoy Prabhu knows, all the devotees know, Ananda-vadan Prabhu knows, all know. Anybody who's coming to the temple for more than maybe 3 days, it's like as a visitor, then everybody needs to have seva, service, then absorbed in service. And we have some super servitors with us. Ananda-vadan Prabhu, wonderful example of service in Navadip and in his hometown. Chinmoy Prabhu also, wonderful example of service. All of you who've come to the mat, you see service, service, service. And I remember Jivana coming to the mat for literally a weekend. I remember you came for maybe 4 days one time. You had an opportunity, and I remember your intensity of being at the mat, like so much. When you coming to all the way to the temple for 4 days, then really, like Jivana was so intense in her service, in her mood of being there. And what to speak of Divya Shakti, Devi Dasi. Divya Shakti, I don't have words to describe your service mood. I can describe, okay, some words we can use. Divya Shakti, brave and energetic and intelligent. She sees what needs to be done. and she does it without making, asking too many questions, like to Gurudev. Generally we're told, oh, we should ask Guru before we do something, right? Divya Shakti. She sees what needs to be done, and she does it. She's just convinced and really does it with heart. By the way, I can't help but share something with you, because look how beautiful is the morning. And it's not that 2 mornings are ever the same, but this is the morning here. And of course, the video never shows the same as in real life, but it's so stunningly beautiful. And that's what I'm seeing, as well as your faces. The Vaishnavas' faces, which are also beautiful. Okay, Praneshwari Didi. So that's, really Vrindavan. And then about Vrindavan and about Navadip, always will come back to our Guru Maharaj's and Gurudev's teachings and caution. And it is wonderful to go. We are always taught we want to visit the places where Mahaprabhu had his pastimes in particular. And we are very Mahaprabhu centered, even when we're not, even when we're in Vrindavan, we're very careful to be Mahaprabhu centered. And we have a Vaishnava joining us here too. And he's going to say, what, you haven't moved on from the questions of Ramananda Ray? This is Paramananda Prabhu. He's manifest from the morning sky. Paramananda Prabhu is manifest from the morning sky. Here we are.
Whoa, look at the gathering.
Yeah. And you know Anandavadam Prabhu of New Zealand? Did you meet him in Australia? He's here with Jai Gauranga Prabhu.
I heard many times his name. I haven't met in person.
You see Anandavadam Prabhu, a devotee. We mentioned before about who is the most glorious and famous person. That is a devotee. So Anandavadam Prabhu, you are famous around the world. This is the glories of the devotees. So you can vouch for that. You are a famous devotee. All right, we didn't finish our question. So let's come to the next question. This is what to remember. Oh, places to live. Okay, now everybody has, how many channels of television you got at home? Like 100 or something like this, or more. That's probably nothing these days. How many channels on the radio? What about the internet? You got unlimited sources. So the question comes from Mahaprabhu to Ramananda Ray, that out of all topics people listen to, which is the best for all living entities? Prema Sundari, we can see your lips moving, but you need to unmute your microphone.
I don't know if this is the correct answer about this question, but I'm thinking about this, listen the pastime of Sri Krishna. All the pastime.
That sounds like a good idea. And hearing about the loving affairs between Radha and Krishna is the most pleasing to the ear. And actually, when we go through these, the Bengali for these is so sweet. So yes, so many topics. And then the peak of the peak of the peak being given by Ramananda Ray, the loving pastimes of Radha and Krishna, the most pleasing to the ear. Okay, and I think we've only got 1 or 2 questions to go, maybe. Oh, 1 question. Oh, well, the most worshipable object. What is the chief? This morning, then we already had that. And Jai Gauranga Prabhu got the answer correct, even though he wasn't with us last week. The chief worshipable object is the holy name of Radha and Krishna. Or was it Jai Gauranga who got that question? That was our first question. I forget who got the answer, but the answer we got correctly. And then the last one is Mahaprabhu asks, what is the destination of those who desire liberation and those who desire sense gratification? And I'll just read you the answer. Oh, Paramananda will read the answer. We've got Paramananda. Or he'll tell us the
There's
answer.
a hand, Maharaj. There's a hand.
There's a hand. Oh, have you got it? Oh, your hand too is up. I
No,
saw your hand up.
But I see one hand there. Two hands now.
Okay, but you know the answer. What happens to those who want liberation? They go to meditation, they just don't want to be liberated.
Yes, those who want liberation will get immobile bodies.
Such as?
Such as the trees. And then those who want sense enjoyment will get the bodies of the demigods.
And now Paramananda was going to tell you something about the danger of going to the demigod's plane, to going to heaven, because Paramananda heard from Gurudev something he told me the other day about.
Oh, that thing, actually.
Taking your birth. And then
yes,
having,
yes.
Yeah, so hear this. This is from Gurudev.
So he said that it is in our interest to go to Krishna in this life, not to delay, because we're doing so many things that are very pious and very auspicious. So there's a big chance that if we don't go to Krishna, we may end up in Swarga, heaven. And if we end up in Swarga, like we find out yesterday, one celestial year is 360 years on earth. And demigods, they live, I don't know how many celestial years. Wow, a lot of celestial years. So there's a big chance by the time we're done in Swarga, and then we have to come back on earth, it will be a Kali Yuga in a full swing. I mean, nothing to what's going on right now, nothing. It will be about the time when Kalki Avatar will have to interfere because nothing can be done. So he said, please, put up some efforts and go to Krishna land in this life.
And if when you leave your body, you're given the choice, so you've done so many good things, come to heaven for a short while before you go on, then you have to be focused on the ideal and say, no, thank you very much. Very kind of you to offer me such a Rolls Royce, a golden Rolls Royce. But I only have that one desire, to serve Guru and Gauranga.
And yesterday we were reading about the Swarga.
We were reading about Swarga.
We're studying Swarga just in case to make sure we have no attachment for Swarga. For the last 2 days we were studying. He tells how is it in Swarga, how the demigods living, what is their mood. And we know that Lord Upendra, the younger brother of Indra, is none other than Krishna himself, Vishnu himself. So he is fully manifest over there. There is a beautiful forest, Nandanandan. In that forest there are 5 wish-fulfilling trees. Indra even have 1 wish-fulfilling cow. So it's not a bad, it's not a bad place to be, I have to say. But there are many faults too.
And when Gopakumar went there, he actually from the beginning, he noticed that there are some faults in Svargaloka, but generally it is so wonderful. We can overlook those faults. And one of the faults was, he noticed that the demigods would quarrel with each other. The devas were quarreling with each other.
And the envy was also present.
Yeah, the envy was also present. So please don't go to heaven. Sorry. All right. So those who want enjoyment, go to heaven. Those who want to meditate, sit in a cave in the Himalayas and push everything out, or in the forest, push everything out, they become trees. And I was thinking about this the other day. There are a lot of trees around. And I was just thinking, how many yogis were there before? Huh?
Red. What's the name of the sequoia? The big American redwoods.
Redwood.
Sequoia.
Yeah, sequoia, here you go. And they live for what, like 10,000 years? God knows how long.
I think the oldest now is between 4,000 and 5,000.
Oh.
That we didn't chop down.
Hare Krishna, what this material world. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, can I
yes.
mention that also just recently Vishaka Devi Dasi released on her website Jayashree an article from Guru Maharaj explaining Satyaloka, all the lokas, and why we want to go above those lokas. It's a very nice article.
Did. Yeah. Why didn't I get the link? Because I do read her articles when I see them sent to me.
Must be based on.
It's called the systematic approach.
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, we'll look and see that. But remember that some of these questions, I haven't read it. I can't really comment on that. But Guru Maharaj does explain these things about the gradation, as we know, gradation of the material planes and the gradation of the spiritual planes. But Guru Maharaj is he's explaining this. So we kind of, if we're attracted to go to one of these places, like we mentioned just now about heaven, I mean, so wonderful. Svarga Loka. But when we can understand it's not my goal, then it'll help us not to be attracted to go, oh, I should go and taste that, as it were. And Guru Maharaj always getting us to try to see the peak of the mountain, the goal that we're aiming for, so we don't get distracted along the way. And the thing is that he is giving that elevator, he's giving that rocket ship, whatever example you want to say. This opportunity has come right now. And even if it's a moment later, a generation, sorry for the young ones who are coming into the world, but with every generation, Kali Yuga is increasing. And I know that when we were in the former society, people would repeatedly say, oh, the first 10,000 years, and there's going to be like a heaven on earth kind of thing of Mahaprabhu's teaching. But Goswami Maharaj, Bhaktisiddhanta Goswami Maharaj, who's like so well read, even before the computer age, he said, I looked and looked and looked. He said, I can't find any reference to that anywhere. And he said, maybe the first 10,000 years we will have still the connection, some opportunity to understand Mahaprabhu's teachings. But it said everywhere that Kali Yuga progressively getting worse and worse and worse. So as Paramanabhu said just now from Gurudev's description, we should not wait. We shouldn't miss this opportunity. And Guru Maharaj, by showing the step by step, again, pointing out for our satisfaction, yes, why I should be focused on the goal and not that we'll be focused elsewhere. And let's face it, most of us have got a limited focus span, as it were. So, and a limited life, limited energy, limited everything. So we'll try to utilize that as best as possible. Hare Krishna. Well, we are together. Some contribution from somebody. Ananda, please, this is our first time, I believe, with Ananda-vadan Prabhu in our group. I won't embarrass you too much, Ananda-vadan Prabhu, but please, you just share with us, you know, this back to basics. We're just trying to, cover things which are very kind of important, fundamental things, which actually are the things that our gurus want us to have in our heart. And Ananda-vadan Prabhu, just give us one or two tips of how to be a good devotee to please Gurudev and Guru Maharaj.
Well, Tanadapi Sneshana, Dodapi Sneshana, this is the way, whenever I think of Gurudev, this always comes to me, that he is the personification of this mantra of Mahaprabhu's, and he's always giving this as the only way to be successful in spiritual life, the only way to chant the Hare Krishna Maha mantra and actually obtain the goal that we're all desiring for, is to follow Mahaprabhu's Shikshastika and prayers, especially this Tanadapi Sneshana. And everybody struggles with this, to be humble, to be tolerant, to always give honor to others, never accept any, desire any for ourselves. We always want to be situated in that plane, but to get there is very difficult. So to have the association like this back to bhakti basics that you're doing is so wonderful, because it's giving everybody some association, even even though we're all on the different parts of the world and miles away from each other, still with this sort of technology, we're able to come together occasionally. I know this is my first time here. Of course, we had these Back to Bhakti Basics courses in Namadweep, what, 12, 13 years ago or something, and I always remember that were so nice. But Gurudev's teachings, for me, is the only way to be successful and the only way that there is to make progress in our spiritual life. And we all have our ups and our downs, what I do anyway. But I'm always desiring the association of devotees, and thankfully I've got Jai Gauranga here to associate with and Ananta Krishna to associate with. So thank you, Maharaj, for your association. It's very helpful. So association with devotees is the only way. This is what I'm always craving for, and yeah.
All right, beautiful. Gurudev will be very proud of you. Chinadapi Sunichana, Taroriva Sahishnuna, Amanina Manadina, Chaitanya Saraharihi, and Sadhu Sangha, association with the devotees. I mean, really, this is actually the very basis of what our life is to be. And in the song Jadi Gorana Hoto, if Mahaprabhu had not come, where would we be? There also it is told, keep your heart simple and just engage in devotional service with the Vaishnavas. So this is our life, and Gurudev telling us about this humility, tolerance, etc. This formula, he's saying this is our formula for practicing, and he would tell us this repeatedly. So today, happily, we're hearing this also from Anandavardhan Prabhu, who's been there in Nabadi, been there with Gurudev, been there with the devotees, serving. And the cows, all, if he will go back today, the cows will go moo, 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 and appreciate it. They welcome him back. Oh, you are our best servitor. You looked after us so nicely when we were young. Hare Krishna. All right. Paramananda Prabhu.
Yes, sir.
One word of advice for us all, because actually sometimes it happens this way. We just kind of didn't start anything new this week, but we did say a bit about Vrindavan and Nabadi, and by Praneshwari's inspiration, and we did go through these questions, which really are very important for us. And now, oh, Paramanand was getting out his little iPad. There you go. Now he's going to give us
a verse to meditate on.
Who always gives us a verse? Oh, yeah, this is the wrong timing for Ireland, but Subhasini in Ireland, whenever we're connecting there, which we connect, she joins in the Irish program, the English program, etc. But it's the wrong time, but she always comes up with some beautiful excerpt from Guru Maharaj or Gurudev or verse every time. So now we have Rāmānanda Prabhu with an excerpt for us.
And I did quote it once, I think, before. But now we're going to do the full verse with the proper translation so everyone can remember. And that's coming from Srila Rupa Goswami, and it is from his work called Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Krishnam smaran janam chasya prishtam nija samitam tattat kadhara taschaso kuryatmasam vraje sada. A devotee should always reside in the transcendental realm of Vraja and always engage in Krishna Smaranam, Janam Chasya Prishtam, the remembrance of Sri Krishna and his beloved associates. By following in the footsteps of such associates and by entering under their eternal guidance, one can acquire an intense desire to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is a very good advice, and along the lines of what Anandavardhan Prabhu was just saying, so really, if we want to get to Krishna at some point, we want to enter his realm, we want to serve his lotus feet of the divine Kapilas, repeatedly stressed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Ray, We must hold on to the lotus feet of Vaishnava, who descended from that realm, who belong to that realm. And without any doubt, he will take us there. There is no doubt at all. Regardless, and this is grace of Mahaprabhu for this age, for us, we have no qualification. Again, there's no doubt about that. Some qualification is there, but it's not enough. So by the grace of that Vaishnava, we will be dragged, taken along, regardless we're qualified or not qualified. And it's always mentioned in many scriptures and many Vaishnavas. There are many of me. Actually, sorry.
It's okay.
So please take the shelter of the substantial Vaishnava and never leave his lotus feet. And then by the power of that Vaishnava, we will be accepted in the world of Krishna. So this is a good advice, I think.
Of course, very good advice for us all. All right. And Jai Gauranga Prabhu, I will reply your emails. Please excuse if I don't reply quickly to everyone's emails. I used to be efficient. Well, something efficient. But in the time of letters, if any of you remember what a letter is, we had a bit of time to receive a letter, reply, post it, come back. So we still live in those days sometimes. Govinda, Govinda. Any question from anybody? Any question from anybody? And maybe Ananda-vardhan Prabhu, you can also mention to Ananta Krishna Prabhu also. I believe I owe him an email too. So I'll try and be good and catch up.
I think Rukmini has a question, but she's very quiet. You need to speak up more so we can hear you.
Yeah, you are quiet now. You weren't quiet before. What happened? Where's your microphone? Where's the microphone?
I don't know.
Rukmini.
This is my computer. I didn't.
Okay. Just speak a little louder, then we can hear you.
Okay. You were talking about Vrindavan, and you said that after 3 days, we should be engaged in service.
That was Navadip, yes, but Vrindavan also, yes, okay.
So that means that service was our protection, or is our protection because it's very hard to not commit offenses, especially if we are like in a long-term pilgrimage or something like that. So if we are engaged in service, are we having some protection from offenses?
The answer is yes, we are being protected. But service is actually the natural activity of the residents of Vrindavan. Vrindavan, I mean upstairs Vrindavan, Krishna's Vrindavan, everyone's doing service. In Navadip, everyone is doing service through the 9 practices of devotional service. And so we are coming to the holy Dham, and at first maybe some reverential, it is new, we are coming and we're giving reverence, but actually to enter the Dham, we need to actually enter through the mood of service, and not just, oh, I'm going to be a servant while I'm there, but actually be a servitor by nature. This actually will give us entrance beyond the cover of the Dham. So our processes are actually to wake up our loving, natural devotional mood. And you know that Gurudev, he doesn't have to ask somebody to clean his veranda. And there's a queue of devotees. Oh, please give me the chance. I want to clean the veranda. Tell me, as soon as Gurudev goes out for a walk, now instantly he's gone out from behind the devotees, running upstairs, and they're so enthusiastic. Nobody's Nobody says,
He
yes,
knows.
here Parananda was pointing to Divya Shakti, she's saying, she knows. You know, this mood of, you know, we want to do something. This is the factor. And Gurudev, he will disapprove if someone's in the temple and not doing something. And he would ask us. And he'd see somebody, and Gurudev would ask, what service is he doing? Or what service is she doing? And if we say, oh, they're just coming to the morning program and see you, oh, Gurudev would not be happy. So you know you've been there. Everybody will have some engagement. Chinmoy Dev, who knows very well, yes, indeed. But yes, protection. We want to be protected from Maya. We want to be protected just from our, sometimes we think Maya is just like male, female things or something, but we want to be protected from everything mundane. And service is our life and soul. By service, we will get everything. Service, service, service. Service is life-giving, not life-depleting. Service is the natural function of the clean soul. So many things.
The Jivira Swarupa Hoy Krishnera Nityadas. That's our nature.
Jivana Devidasi, please give a little squeak to us all, a devotional squeak. Jivana, calling Jivana.
Oh my gosh, Maharaj. Feel like such a flea in this illustrious association. Like
Hare Krishna.
most I can do is cause some problem. But I did hear something nice this week about this verse that Rupa Goswami told to Sanatana Goswami when Sanatana Goswami was in prison. And he told him, he sent this really beautiful verse, and he said, by this reflection, there was something about where is the Mathura Puri of Yadupati gone? Where has the northern Koshala of Raghupati gone? And he said, by reflection, make the mind steady, thinking this universe is not eternal. So I thought that sometimes, when you're, of course, all the time, at least for me, the mind is always trying to make so much trouble. But if we can think that all of this external chaos that appears to be chaos, actually it's not eternal, and it is all under the control of Krishna, then it really helps to steady the mind and help us to focus more on our real life of service and chanting and being with the devotees. This Zoom call is so wonderful, my goodness. We hardly ever get your association, and now we can get it, at least for me, every week. Sometimes people are getting it more. Association with different devotees is really, really wonderful. So it's good to remember these things about the mind.
And Jivana, can you just tell us, I mentioned a little earlier, remember you came to the Dham one time for, I think, a long weekend. It was maybe 4 days at the most. Tell us just something, because that must stick, it sticks in my memory. So it must stick in your memory. Please tell us something from that visit.
Well, there were several visits that we made, and sometimes I would feel like it was so little bit crazy to go for so short of a period of time. But then you think how even a moment's association can save you from the greatest fear, and can just give you so much life. So that was what that trip was about, and we would go even just for such a brief moment of time and just get so much energy and mercy from the devotees.
And with your arrival, it reminds us in the Dham of the value of every day and every moment in the Dham. And really an inspiration for those of us who are trying to serve there with the devotees.
Well, that is so supremely generous. And I just fly in for a little bit and fly back to do whatever nonsense. But also I have to say what you were saying about don't go to Swargaloka. Just don't do it. What Rāmānanda was saying, you'll come back. You have to come back somewhere along the line, and you'll be in full-on Kali Yuga. And plus, like you're saying, that even in Swargaloka, they have to worry about quarreling and having envy. and so many problems. We want to just try this lifetime to get back home, back to Godhead.
All right, Jivana. With Jivana's very good advice from the heart to us.
And blessings.
And, oh yes, her blessings, but through her advice.
Taking blessings.
Then at this point, at least on our side of the world, we have a program to continue, and we've got our guests here, and so we'll continue here our program, so kindly excuse. And however, we'll come on to something new in the next time. And in the meantime, these questions and answers and things we've covered in the past very nicely is being given in a place on the Facebook page I saw made by Govinda Nandini. I really don't have my specs, I can't see if it's there, but I'm sure she can just post it again, oh yes, I can see Facebook page groups. You can see there and just look at some topics we've done in the past, these questions and answers, various things. It is happy for me to go there and see it in a kind of a little bit of a structured, organized way. And then next week we'll come on to a new topic, and I have but there's no shortage of topics for us to go through. So we have plenty of things to discuss. If anybody has something that they would like to bring up or have discussed, like, oh, nobody ever told me this when I joined the temple or something. These are the kind of things we kind of overlook, some of the things which are like very important from the beginning. So we want to happily discuss things which you want to hear. And Zoom is so good because we are together. It's not just a one-sided thing.
Nobody ever told me when I joined the temple that I have to tolerate so much, be so humble, and give respect to others. They told me months later about it. I was already in, so I couldn't get out.
All right. On this note, let us continue our days, our afternoons, and as it were, our devotional lives without any break. Let us try 25 hours a day to do all these good things. So Jai, wonderful Srila Gurudev ki Jai, wonderful Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai, and also all the wonderful guardian acharyas, gurus of today who are carrying their current into this world ki Jai. And all the Vaishnavas assembled and all the unassembled Vaishnavas ki Jai. To each of you, one by one, Dandavat, 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 Dandavat ki Jai. Vanchikaupatarubhyascha kripasindhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Dandavat to you all. See you very soon.
Dandavat Maharaj ki
Jai.
Time to go.
Ananda-vardhan Prabhu ki Jai.
Jai. Jai Gauranga
Nice to
Prabhu.
see you.
Jai ki Jai.